Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new to the channel, well, welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Corsair K70 MK2 Cherry MX Brown mechanical keyboard. This is a great keyboard and I'm really excited for this review, so let's get it. So the K70 MK2 is just the latest addition in the K70 lineup from Corsair, and there are a few differences between this edition and the previous editions. First thing that Corsair has changed is they've added a hardware playback capability, which basically means you can take your macros on the go. Another thing they've also done is they have changed the color of the volume scroll wheel. It still feels just like the Lux, but it looks a little more premium in my opinion, and I like it. It's a welcome change. Another thing they've also included is the Corsair RGB logo at the top of the keyboard. I don't really consider this to be that big of a deal, but I will admit it does look cool, a lot nicer than a logo that doesn't light up. With the media keys, they've also gone ahead and actually raised them so they're a little bit higher up, which makes them a little bit easier to access, and I like that. It's cool. I didn't really have any complaints on the Lux, which was the previous version, but this does make it a little bit easier, so again, it's a welcome change. Another thing they've done is they've actually gone ahead and made the wrist rest a little bit larger from the Lux version, which I really appreciate because I actually had that complaint. In fact, in my first review of the keyboard of the K70 Lux, I actually mentioned that, you know, the wrist rest is good, but it's a little too small to actually provide any support. So they've changed that and I really like it. And then finally, they've also added cable management that's built into the back of the keyboard, which in theory should help you manage your cables. I personally don't use it, but it's there. So I like these changes, they're good, but they don't necessarily justify the price jump from the K70 Lux to the K70 MK2. However, the typing experience on both of these keyboards is amazing, and we're gonna talk about that more in this review. But before we do that, let's go ahead and just take a look at some of the specs. So this keyboard is built in an aluminum case, and it also features the Cherry MX switches. Now in my particular case, I have the browns, which is the light but tactile bump switch. You can also get them in the blues and the reds. As far as which switch is good for you, you sort of just have to try them out. But if you're coming from a rubber dome keyboard, all of them will be a significant upgrade. To the top right of the keyboard, you will see the volume wheel, which will allow you to adjust the volume on your Windows machine, and you will also see a couple of media keys. So these keys are perfect when you're in Spotify, for instance. You can pause or skip a song. You'll also notice a mute button, which if you hit that once, you guessed it, your audio is muted, and if you hit it again, it's unmuted. Pretty straightforward, but really handy keys to have for everyday usage. To the left of that, you will see three other switches. The first one will control the Windows lock, which will basically disable the Windows key to prevent you from alt-tabbing out mid-game. The key to the left of that is the brightness adjuster, so you can adjust the keyboard brightness. There's three different settings, and then there's also a macro key to the left of that, which just allows you to manage your macros. Now this keyboard also features a wrist rest, and it is a hard plastic but padded wrist rest, so it does feel good, and it's larger than the previous iteration, so it offers a little bit more support as well, and I really like it. Normally I don't even use wrist rests, but this one I don't mind using. It actually feels comfortable. It does enhance the experience. The spacebar is also textured, so it will feel a little bit different than the other keys, but I like that. It's a good feeling in my opinion, although that is subjective. You may not like it. It's one of those things you'll kind of just have to try for yourself. I personally really like it, and I'm glad they introduced it. Now, the keycaps are nothing really special. They're just the thin, run-of-the-mill ABS keycaps, but I like them. They feel good. There is a model of the K70 that also includes the double-shot PBT keycaps, but I don't really find that necessary personally. I think that these ones are good enough, and you won't really have any complaints. Okay, so just a quick heads up, I'm wearing something completely different because earlier is when I shot the first part of this video, and I did finish it, but the footage is corrupted, so I have to re-record about half of the video. Yeah, that's always fun, but you know what? New year, new me. Gonna be optimistic about it. Normally I would have just said F it and started playing some Counter-Strike, but not 2019 Carson. 2019 Carson is a lot more committed, hopefully. So let's get back into the review. So how does it feel to actually type on the K70 MK2? Well, it feels just as good as it did on the K70 Lux, which was the previous generation, and that keyboard was amazing as well. So in terms of actual type feeling, both keyboards are awesome. I wouldn't say that the MK2 is any better than the Lux, so if you're looking for a better typing experience, you're not gonna find it with the MK2. What you get with the MK2 is just some upgraded features and an overall prettier design and layout, in my personal opinion. Another thing that I really like about the K70 is it just looks really clean. Most gaming keyboards kind of do this thing where they go over the top and they end up looking like a toy in a Walmart aisle, as opposed to the K70, which actually looks like a professional, solid keyboard that you would find in an office, minus the RGBs and maybe the wrist rest. But it's a really clean, professional looking board. And it doesn't have to be just used or appreciated by gamers. It's the kind of keyboard that would really suit anybody that spends an abundant amount of time on a computer. Now, I want to take this time in the review to actually discuss some of the fallbacks of the K70, because even though it is my favorite mechanical gaming keyboard, it isn't perfect. So the first issue I have with the K70, probably the biggest issue, is the keyboard ping. It was a lot less prevalent in the K70 Lux. The MK2 seems to have it a bit worse, although I think that may just be because this is a newer keyboard. I think that keyboard ping might actually subside as time goes on. But what I'm noticing is that when I click a key, I will hear a little bit of a ping, sort of like an echo of a spring within the body. And this is normal for a lot of mechanical keyboards. I've had mechanical keyboards in the past, gaming keyboards and non-mechanical gaming keyboards that have also shared this trait. So it's not something I want to go too hard on Corsair for, but it is noticeable, and it would be cool if they could somehow alleviate it to make it less noticeable. Another problem I personally have with this keyboard is the price. Now, initially I was like, should I even mention the price? Because honestly, you get what you pay for. There are a lot of features with the K70. I don't think it's stupidly overpriced, but I think for the people in America, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I think for the people in America, which is probably most of you watching this if my analytics are to be believed, you guys have a lot of options when it comes to keyboards. You can go on mechanicalkeyboards.com and get free shipping on keyboards that are like $100 that in terms of build quality can compete or if not exceed the K70 MK2. That doesn't mean that you'd want these boards. They might not have all the features this one does, and they certainly won't look the same, but I'm just throwing that out there. You have options. So for it to be priced as high as it is, I think they should lower the price so it's a little bit more competitive. Because again, like a keyboard like a Leopold FC660M, in terms of build quality, actually exceeds this one, and that's like $120 US. So this is just kind of something to think about. Now again, it's not backlit, it doesn't have all the crazy features, but I don't know, I think quality is a little bit more important. So basically what I'm trying to say is that the price should be reduced, at least for the people in the States. People in Canada like me, man, we don't have a lot of options when it comes to keyboards. When I buy like a keyboard from mechanicalkeyboards.com, I have to pay double what you guys pay just off of the conversion and shipping. So I'll shut my mouth and keep this. I like it. But again, just understand that this is an expensive keyboard, and if you're not so concerned with the lights or the gaming features and things like that, you can look elsewhere, and there are other options that may be worth considering. Now what I'd like to do is let you guys hear for yourselves how this keyboard sounds with the Cherry MX Brown switches, because I could not find any type tests with this particular keyboard with these switches. So here's a little type test for you guys to hear how it sounds, just regular typing speed, nothing fancy. Okay guys, so what is my conclusion of this keyboard? Well, to be honest, you'd be hard pressed to find a better gaming keyboard. I mean, seriously, I've tried a lot of other gaming keyboards like Razer's, Logitech's. They're not bad. I don't mind them, but this one is still using the genuine Cherry switches, which I do prefer. I think that the Cherry switches are the best switches out. And I also think that the build quality on the Corsair K70 does exceed that of Razer and Logitech boards. Not that their build quality is necessarily terrible, it's just K70 seems to have a bit of a jump on them. So that's where I stand with this keyboard. It's phenomenal, the features are great, the typing experience is awesome, it feels great to type on. It is a little bit expensive, but if you can stomach that price, I think that it is absolutely worth it, and it's definitely worth considering. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Now, if you like this video, please leave a like. It helps me immensely. If you didn't like this video, leave a dislike. I won't be offended. Just leave some comments so I know what I can improve on, okay? And I did start an Instagram account not too long ago, and also Twitter. I'm trying to be more active on these social platforms. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm actually gonna do a little bit of a giveaway. So basically every month I'm just gonna give away a $50 Steam gift card. So if you guys wanna enter to win that, all you have to do is follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's it. You don't even have to subscribe to the channel. Just follow me on those platforms. And if you're on Twitter, tweet me. Let me know you exist. Same with Instagram. Just interact with me. I love interacting. And anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. So once again, thank you so much. And I will see you guys in the next one.